After 30 years of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, it comes down to this: UFC 300, a stacked pay-per-view, and an epic striking matchup in the main event. On the one hand, we have a glory kickboxing world champion turned MMA fighter who in his very short career has claimed 2 UFC titles with his show-stopping striking and calculated efficiency. The challenger this time around though, Jamahal Hill, brings his own striking game to bear with a sneaky style that's given everyone at light heavyweight problems. He'll be looking to win back the title he never lost.
What's up, fight fans? Special shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring this video. UFC 300 is finally upon us. With 2 world title fights and a BMF title on the line, we've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to bring you closer to the action. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using our code ONPOINT. Stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight, including total rounds and method of victory. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code ONPOINT and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ONPOINT only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
I know a lot of people are excited for this one, so let's take a closer look at the matchup today, and we'll be breaking down Hill's use of framing and hand traps, Alex's leg kicking game, combinations and covering distance with Jamahal, Pereira's left hook, and some X factors for both men. So let's start with Jamahal Hill. The first thing we're going to talk about is framing and hand trapping. So Jamahal predominantly comes out southpaw. So when we're talking about hand trapping and framing, the best examples of this is always going to be when you're against an opposite stance fighter. So orthodox in this case. So both the lead hands are close to each other, therefore framing and hand trapping comes into play. So initially controlling the lead hand, framing with the left as the body kick comes, and even switch stances and frames with the opposite hand on the exit. 3 different types of frames in one sequence, but there's more to it than that. Again here we'll see as this lead kick comes in, boom, we made contact with the lead hand and then the leg as well before this long straight left comes over the top. People frame for a lot of different reasons, but essentially the concept is if I'm touching you or holding onto you, I've got a much better idea of where and when your body's going to move. You've got different ways of sensing things on this earth. One is with your eyes when you see something, and another is when you feel something. If you can touch them, you can also feel the movement as well as see it, basically. So by Jamahal Hill always making contact, he's always got a better chance of predicting what's coming next, and he can also do things with his lead hand. He can pull it out of the way, he can set traps, he can guide it, but also he can get the range perfectly to follow that backhand as well. And we'll also notice something unique like we saw there where he's also grabbing the backs of legs as well. But let's just take a look at more examples. So here again, the lead hand comes out because his opponent thinks we're going to get a frame, and this time Jamahal goes to the body as well. So he can also set a pattern with that and then take advantage of it. So here we go again, using the lead hand to gauge the distance, which allows him to pull out of range when that follow-up shot comes. So now he's pressuring the lead hand, expecting a response. Because he's initiating touch first, he can pull, and always comes back with combos as well with Jamahal. There's a lot we're going to talk about with Jamahal, but combos are a very, very important part of his offense. Not just the one shot, but the follow-up chained offense. So here we see a long straight left, and again, got time to frame as he pulls back and puts the right hand in front of it as well. It's almost Sean O'Malley-like. We see different kinds of striking, but for a guy at 205 to kind of replicate a similar game plan where he's able to hit you, frame, and then hit you again. You don't see that often at the heavier weight classes. It's just sort of a testament to the boxing skills of Jamahal and the speed at which he's operating. And you know, a lot of this stuff is subconscious. He's not thinking, I'm going to straight him, and then I'm going to frame, and then I'm going to throw. It's all part of the offense that's built into him. You know, it's automatic for him to try and read, and it's almost you're feeling your way through the fight. Same thing again, framing here, and this time just uses it to pass this jab to the outside and steps in with his combos as well. Instead of pulling away from the offense this time, he's going to go straight past it. So he can also close the distance as he steps in, knowing that he can guide that lead hand away. And he was dealing with the left hook a lot in the OSP fight, so being controlled of that lead left hand gave him lots of ability to read what OSP was about to do. Same thing again here, you'll actually see hand traps this lead hand, hooks all the way over as he steps around, and then fires off his combinations. Again, we're going to talk a lot with Jamahal Hill, but the creativity in what he does is also a big part of what makes him dangerous and unpredictable. And when he's going from trapping your hand to now scooping and pulling it away so he can get angles to strike, it's all part of this weird boxing, spooky boxing flow that everyone likes to talk about. So in this example, they're both orthodox, right? We talked earlier how about framing and controlling that lead hand usually happens when one guy's southpaw, one guy's orthodox. Here they're both orthodox, but Jamahal is still going to have the confidence to just reach with his left hand and grab the lead hand of OSP right here. And then he's going to hook it down and just create a lovely angle for this right hand over the top. Boom. I mean, that's really creative stuff. I mean, there's a lot that goes on there. You gotta have the confidence to just reach in and grab your opponent's hand. Now, OSP's hands aren't up here, so he's not grabbing up here. They are down, which is why he can grab it. But again, against a guy who's throwing the left hook, he shows in that example, well, there's no better way than you just grab the left hand and fire over the top. I mean, there's no lead hook threat there because you're pulling it away from your opponent. Is he going to be able to do that to Alex? Probably not. But these are the kind of things that Jamahal has been able to find and sort of creatively make work for him. Similar example here, this time though, he's making contact with the left leg. Again, it's rather than hand play, Jamahal is literally framing and catching and trapping off different parts of your body. It goes back to this thing where Jamal's got the same reach as Alex Pereira, and if he can touch your leg, where that knee is, that right hand is going to land on the chin. And again, this is all stuff Jamahal knows in here. His brain knows it, his body knows. If I can grab your leg, we're in range here for this right hand, and he just lets it go. Boom. Nasty. So a bit different here, he's pressuring Mahata. This time steps in with the lead hand, but it's Santos who just throws back, and again, a nice parry here from his opposite hand, and then tries to find his own right hook over the left hook. Now this is the start of something else we're going to talk about in a minute with Jamahal, which is pattern recognition. Because once he realizes that left hook is coming from Mahata, every time he steps in, he starts to peel off and tries to drop this counter right hook just as the left hook comes on the inside. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is because Jamahal has the wherewithal, has the instincts and the ability to not only parry these shots and pull, but he's setting up his offense out of it. So he's entering, forcing a reaction, using his defensive capabilities to set up his offense. It doesn't sound that complex, but if you're a guy that only attacks, then your opponent only has to worry about defending. If you're a guy that's going to bait with attacks to set traps to get you to commit and then counter, all of a sudden, the game becomes a lot more complicated. And that's Jamahal Hill. He's always setting traps, establishing patterns, reading your patterns, or making you fall into a pattern so he can land his counter shots. So Alex Pereira, right? I mean, he's an incredibly dangerous kickboxing world champion. He's got a left hook from hell. Everybody knows this, but a lot of people have noticed this recently, and it's become the talk of the town. The number one offense, right, stage one of getting past Alex Pereira is the leg kicks. That is 100% how his fight is going to start. That is the first thing he looks to land on you, to wear things away, slow you down, and everything will help set up that left hook. But let's have a look at some of these calf kicks that he's been landing recently. So against Izzy, I mean, first thing he does in the fight, he's throwing these calf kicks. He's damaging that calf, slowing down Izzy, taking away the footwork, and it's beautiful technique. The reason these are so effective, and it's kind of hard to read here, but it's not a traditional leg kick. There's loads of ways to throw leg kicks, all right? And I'm not a Muay Thai coach, but what you'll usually do first is step, because you open up your hips, and then you throw your leg kick, right? Alex Pereira doesn't step his lead foot. Now it's important to turn the lead foot, because if you don't open up the hips, you're kicking like this. You have to step and open up your hips. But Pereira doesn't turn the lead foot until the back leg has already been committed. So the back leg will come out, and then he turns the lead foot. But if you watch, it takes away the tell and the setup for the kick. Step, oh, the kick's come in. The kick's already come in by the time the step has happened, which is why it's so sneaky and why he doesn't move his upper body, because he's just turning that hip over. Let's just see it again here against Yuri. The right leg comes first, and then the lead leg turns. And Yuri knows how much these hurt. Right here again, rear leg and then the lead leg. And bouncing, boom. So quick, no tell off the lead side of the body, and he's still got a ton of power in them because he's destroying people. This Yuri fight was over pretty quickly because of all the damage it did to the leg, if you ask me. That completely changed Yuri's game. He had to fight southpaw. He was hesitant to hang on the outside where he sets his offense up. If he starts to get the leg kicks going against Jamahal Hill, especially early, I think that could really hinder Jamahal. And we can see the fight be won in the first couple of minutes. I love the disdain Alex shows here for his opponent when he tries to get a leg kicked, and then the light tap that he gives back. And this is where Alex operates here. Bouncy, floaty, at the range you can't hit him, but of course with these long legs, he's ready to step in. He's really a master of this outside range, and he's given people loads of problems, especially Jan, who's usually really good at stopping leg kicks on the outside. But he had Jan in dangerous positions because of these leg kicks as he timed him circling, and he really got Jan to start biting on all of these weapons that were coming towards him. Can't forget Alex also has all kinds of kicks, head kicks, body kicks. It's not just going to be the leg kicks. Loads of weapons on the outside you have to be careful of. So aside from the leg kicks, obviously we've got the big left hook. There's a big weapon for Alex. We're going to cover how he sets up in a minute, but danger zone number 2, a place Jamal does not want to be, is right here, back to the cage with Alex Pereira in front of you. Now, in the Israel Adesanya fight, the second one, that's how he got finished, because he was too aggressive in this position. Typically, we'll see Alex stand right outside your range. Because he usually has the reach advantage, he floats here, and you'll see with Izzy here, just waits for the counter offense and then tries to unload combinations. Barely pulls that hook. And these are really close, and there's only someone like Israel Adesanya with this trunk movement who's going to get out of it. And we saw this is how the fight finished, the jab to the body, and then the big lead hook up top, all because he could keep Izzy on this position against the fence. This is the worst place for Jamal to be in this fight, especially because against Jan, we see these changes in tempo, but we see a new Alex who's a lot more patient in this position, literally just pot-shotting Jan. Uppercut, jab, really taking his time, and he notices the level change, so he's going to slip off, and then fires this really dangerous uppercut, so Jan pulls away. Now Jan's coming this way, he's going to start throwing the lead hook, which will get him to duck, so he'll go back to the uppercut, and he'll peel away, so he goes back to the lead hook. There's not this rush we see from Alex anymore, where he gets, Izzy against the fence, and he's just throwing these combinations, and he gets knocked out. Now he's really watching what you're doing. Jab, where you're going to go, your level changing, uppercut. It's a much more conservative approach to offense against the fence, way less danger for him. So if you think Jamal has this opportunity to spark him the way Izzy did, I would argue Alex is going to be a lot more wary in these situations now and a lot more measured. All right, let's go back to Jamahal Hill, because we've talked about hand trapping, framing, okay, his ability to operate and flow through space. Something else he's really good at, covering distance. We talked about him being the same height and having the same reach as Alex, but Hill also has a lot of weapons that covers distance really well. Some tactics that people sort of use nowadays to help them catch up with people as they're chasing and falling away. And he also puts combinations together, which makes him even more dangerous. So look at the split stance here on this straight left. How wide is this to cover all this distance? He's going to land in orthodox. Now he's going to bang a hook. Now he's going to step through to the kick from southpaw, and essentially he's chased his man all the way across the cage. He went from having his back to the fence to putting the opponent's back to the fence, all in the space of a 3-piece combination. Same thing here, checks the kick, which we're going to want him to do, steps through with a long straight, lead hook, and then a kick on the end of it as well. Always stepping through, covering distance. Against Alex Pereira, we know Alex's defense isn't cover up, duck, slip. Alex's defense is this. I'm going to get away from you. I'm going to clear the space. For someone like Jamahal Hill, really benefits him that he has an offensive game that helps him cover distance as he's attacking you, because he's going to need that if he's going to catch someone like Pereira, who's going to retreat out of space. Again here, another check on an outside leg kick, shot to the body this time, and then comes up top with the combinations, always pursuing the combinations. Again, that might not seem like a big deal for some people, combinations, but it's not always easy to throw combinations. You have to decide, I'm going to walk into the fire, I'm going to commit to offense, I'm going to put myself in danger at the expense of attacking, and Jamal has no problem with that. He kind of lives in this fire zone sometimes. He throws combinations because he's confident he's going to knock you out. Again here, long stance, and this time it's just a head kick up high, just because I wanted to show you, Jamahal Hill will throw head kicks. He's not afraid of that. Pereira deals with a lot of kicks in the kickboxing world, obviously, but that is a part of Jamal's offense as well. More combinations here as well. Uppercut, lead hook, right hand, and that one lands on the chin, but also doesn't immediate attack, just a little sniping pot shot as well, Didn't rock him, not gonna overcommit. Again, combinations off the head kick here, just banging them. The hands are down really low, and people talk about this, but Glover's given him no reason to worry about anything coming back right now. He's backing up, he's shelling up. And when Jamal winds from the hip, he's generating a lot of power, if it does leave him open a bit, but we're going to talk about that later as well. And when you talk about the low hands, there are other advantages to low hands as well. He'll throw this right hand that Glover's going to get out of the way of. Boom, you can't even see his left, but it's firing on the left hook and then another right hand behind it. And all these shots that are coming from the hip, make them much harder to see. I know I've talked about this before, but if I'm up here, you can see me punching. If I'm here, you don't see it. You know what I mean? Hands down, obviously, defensive liability, but more power and more unpredictable. Lovely pull counter right there, and a right hand from Jamahal, with combinations as well, not just one slip and shot. He's trying to knock Glover out, and he's making reads on these patterns because he's pulling these left hooks that he saw Glover was landing. People have talked about that, but Jamahal took that and turned it into a weapon for himself, which is something he does in a lot of his fights. All right, so the big weapon everyone talks about for Pereira is the left hook. I just mentioned people think there might be a home for it on Jamahal. We're going to have a look at that later. But let's see how Alex sets this left hook up. Because against Jan, it was a tale of this fight, really. This is something you cannot let Alex Pereira do. Hang it in this space in front of you and give him time to process and think about what he's going to attack you with. And one main tool Alex uses to set up this left hook is this jab to the body for a lot of different reasons. You'll see him hit Jan with it a bunch, and also, neutral space, leg kick, right? He's got a lot of threats. Let's even just take two threats, the lead hook and the leg kick, right? You'll see Jan start to overreact to it. But why does he jab to the body, right? Well, the first thing it's going to do is bring your hands down, especially for someone like Sean Strickland who likes to parry. Right hand comes all the way down. Right hand comes all the way down. And then on the knockout, level change, well, the right hand is going to come down, except this time it's the left hook and it knocks him out. Alex Pereira loves to throw the jab to the body because the level change will sell the left hook. Again, here against Jan, Jan starts to parry, but look, he didn't even move right here. All Alex does in this situation is stand in his stance, and he bounces up and down like this because it's very Muay Thai. If you're on your toes, you can spring forward at any moment. All he starts to do is just bounce. And when he goes up, Jan's already reacting, trying to parry this body hook, which of course is giving him a lane for the left hook, and he's not even throwing the jab. Right after it though, you'll see Alex tags in with the jab, right? Mind games, re-establishing it's there. Same thing here. Hands coming down to parry the jab. The jab's not there. He's already sold it to him. And you'll see leg comes up to check the kick. Because Alex has so many tools that you start to worry about, you start to overreact. And when you overreact, you've just opened the lane for that shot he was trying to land anyway. And that's part of his presence and his sort of controlling the space as a kickboxer. If you've ever sparred, right, you can spar someone and you can get a feel and have a good time. But when you go up against someone who's just better than you, the more time you spend in there, the more respect you give them, the more worried you get about the things that start landing on you. And that's kind of the story of this fight with Jan, is he got more and more worried about all these tools of Alex. And then Alex starts to put the left hook on him. This is a lovely check left hook he starts to use right here as well. Jab to the body, hand comes out, expecting the parry, hook round the side. And again here, look how low the hands are of Alex, because he's baiting you in for this check left hook. This fight's a bit like poker, all right? Because Alex is gonna bluff. He's gonna drop his hands. He's gonna invite Jamahal in. Does Jamahal take that bait? Does Jamahal build offense around Alex's traps? It's a very high level striking game where both guys are gonna try and lure them into their weapons. I think for Jamahal, he cannot be neutral. He cannot wait for Alex, because Alex is gonna get all the time to start getting you to flinch, where he'll pot shot you. Oh, the lead hook's coming. I'm gonna leg kick you. Be careful of the leg kicks. Jamahal needs to find ways to close that space or counter Alex's key weapons. Let's talk about something else Jamahal does really well, and that's his creativity. He's a very, very creative guy, and also I've mentioned reading opponents' tendencies and setting traps. Let's take a look at some of that stuff right now. So against OSP right here, the right hand comes out, left hand behind it. He pulls his way out of it. We come back here and he frames. This time when the frame comes out, Jamahal loops the hand around the outside to close the space, and then puts the left hand on the chin, and also because he's a combination puncher, follows up with the right hand. So if we're in neutral framing and OSP is able to control and defend the space, because you've got my lead hand and my left can't get through, that's fine. So Jamahal approaches again, and as OSP's lead hand comes out, it's this motion, it's around the outside. As you try and grab him, going around the outside, and that let him close the space. Again, just a creative flair, you know? Here again, we've got this high elbow guard, which he used a lot because he was worried about the lead hook. Just something else to note, you might keep that high elbow guard. Right here, he's almost threatening the high elbow guard to bait OSP into throwing it. And all he does is fade back and again, attack the body with these straight punches. Combinations against the fence right here, jab, jab, stepping across. And right here, a lovely ability to just guide him into this right hand over the top, the kind of shots that have knocked Alex out before, and another right hand amidst this chaos, which is honestly not easy to land. This is interesting as well. As he crashes into OSP right here, he's gonna peel off in this direction, right? Jamahal is in orthodox, so he could step across and throw a lead hook, right? This is what you'd think most people would do in this situation. Stay in their stance and track along the fence. Now he's kind of overcommitted and it might be hard, but let's see what Jamahal does instead. Instead of saying orthodox, Jamahal steps through with the right leg and he lands in southpaw. This lead hook is now a rear hook and it lands with even more impact. Switch hitting isn't something a lot of people do. There are a few athletes that do it, but a guy like Jamahal Hill does it really well. In a chaotic sequence where he's trying to finish the fight, as an opponent might escape or as you might not be able to land that perfect shot, he's got the wherewithal and ability to step through and switch stances to set himself up for essentially a knockout shot. Very creative and very high level as well. It goes back into, if Alex has all this experience against kickboxers and Jamahal does something that opponents haven't done previously because he has a unique style, it's going to give Alex problems because he's not showing him something he's used to, even with all that experience. Let's talk about some pattern recognition, right? Crute was throwing this right head kick. Jamahal wanted to circle and land the check hook. This is 20 seconds into the fight. This time it's just an elevation from Crute, and that's all Jamahal needs to get around the side. And on the fourth time, he times it perfectly, 45 seconds into the fight. In that situation, I guess that's kind of an easy read to make. The guy's throwing the head kick, I want to circle away and drop the lead hook. But I like that he was able to time the lead hook just on the bounce of Crute, not even on the head kick commitment. He was reading bounce, bounce, head kick. And he went bounce, and then he landed the hook. Alex Pereira bounces a lot. Just something to think about. If Jamahal Hill can time effectively that right hook off just an elevation change without any other tell, you know he's a guy with good timing and a long enough reach to maybe equalize that distance that Alex likes to create. Same thing happened against Johnny Walker. He found the pattern. So time and time again, they're crashing together, throwing the rear hands. What does Jamahal do? Changes orthodox, and this time times his own rear hand with Johnny's right hand. Now that wouldn't have worked if they were southpaw v orthodox, right? But Jamal's seen, oh, he's stepping in and throwing the backhand. Okay, cool. I'm going to time his backhand and put mine right over the top. Again, pattern recognition, which led to a first round knockout within the first sort of 2 minutes of the fight. Something else that led to the finish against Santos here as well is another one of these sort of split stance, long straight punches where it's almost a Superman punch. He's kind of squared up right now, but if you watch this right hand, he steps to southpaw and then throws it. It's almost like a jumping lead hook. And it takes him completely out. You know, again, it's the ability to cover distance with a powerful enough shot, timed well, that was also disguised to the opponent. Same thing against Glover here with that long step-in straight punch. He uses that a lot. And that is exactly the kind of shot he's going to need to land on Alex Pereira. We've seen Izzy do something similar where he steps through, especially as these leg kicks get timed with these right hands. Here again, similar right hand right down the pipe, right down the middle, especially if Alex is against the fence. Similar shot right here against Glover Teixeira. And again, the right hand right down the pipe. And Izzy, of course, gets the right hand over the top of that left arm, the left shoulder of Alex, which is something Jamahal has also been able to land. So if you ask me, that's what Jamal's got to do. Split that timing, go down the middle, get between the open guard, counter the leg kicks, predominantly with rear hands down the middle. Who the hell knows what else Jamal's going to land? He's probably going to mix things up. You know, this is going to be his game plan. But for Alex, he's probably going to be trying to snipe out Hill during this chaos, during these combinations, or trying to land that left hook. And we've seen Jamahal have to deal with a left hook and get tagged by it a few times. This was early on in his career. Steps through 1, 2, 3 on the other side and gets hit with a left hook over the top. Now, the reason he got hit with the left hook over the top because that right hand fell down after the combinations. But also for Jamahal, sometimes it's a little right side, right side, and then the left hook comes. And that's kind of the pattern that his opponent read in this fight. Left side, left side, and then the left hook can get timed at the end of the combination. Just kind of got a read on the offensive timing of Jamahal Hill, going to the body there, and again, right hand super low down, gets hit with the left hook on the exit. Knees to the body, and here he's actually framing, and he's able to pull the left hook this time, because we talked about the importance of the frames and how much feel and read that gives over your opponent. I know Jamal's been hit with a lot of left hooks. Maybe Alex can find a home and sneak it in if those hands come down, or if he can time the offense. Jamahal is going to be looking to make the reads on the patterns and counter those main weapons of Alex. Counter the leg kicks, counter the left hook. I love this fight. It's a really close fight. I know we've been talking about predictions all week. It's hard for me to pick a winner, but I'm going to lean towards Jamahal Hill because if I pick that and it's right, I'll look like a genius, won't I? But I genuinely think it could go either way. Both guys have abilities to knock each other out, and both guys have a very unique game, which kind of counters the other guy quite well. Neutral space, Alex, range management, kicks him in the leg, makes it horrible. takes him out with a left hook. Jamahal Hill closes in that range, takes all those weapons that Alex likes to use, turns it against him, attacks with combinations. It should be good. Let me know in the chat down below, guys, who you think is going to win. Okay, I want to hear some predictions from you because there's a lot going on in this fight, and it is the main event of UFC 300. Okay, so we're all going to be watching it and all going to be having a good time. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown today, guys. We'll be back next pay-per-view with another one. But yeah, some more analysis there for you on Alex Pereira. We've done them a few times, but a breakdown of Jamahal Hill, so now you know what he's all about.